Hey guys, welcome back to Cards and Comics, and today I have another epic big mail day. I am not going to open the packaging again. I'm going to use the Miracle Modern Editing to open the packaging and show you what's inside. But here is the mail day, and in 3, 2, 1, 0. Here we go. Everything's unboxed. Before I start, I want to and give a shout out to some folks who've been very supportive of my channel and been, giving me encouragement to keep going. New York Yankee fan. He's been a big supporter of the channel. I love his videos, and he really had foresight in what he collected, and I think he was one of those folks who was very focused as a collector and got in early on generally every good card you would have wanted to get into the last 10 years. The guy, amazing collection. Ziggy, I know a lot of people, he's very outspoken, but I just like the fact he's very passionate, and he's been a big fan of mine. Personal Finance Dad has sent me some nice messages, so appreciate the support. And like I said in some of my comments, obviously, my channel didn't take off the way I thought it would originally, but maybe that's just me, being too, having too high, expectations. I think, my last two videos that I consider to be the two big videos, my SGC to PSA crossover video and my 60s collection videos are doing really well, and I really appreciate the feedback I'm getting with those videos. And just a comment on the SGC video. I just want to make sure people understand I'm not, and I don't want to be construed as a PSA apologist. You'll notice I put out a really harsh video about PSA in my When It Was a Game or WeWag video earlier, to where I got screwed and kind of ripped off by PSA. And I'm not trying to be an apologist, but in that video, I just want you to understand on the SGC video, it was about the results, and in general, my SGC issues, and I have a lot of SGC cards, and you'll see them in the 60s video. You'll see them more often in the 50s videos. I collect a lot of SGC cards. But when they miss big, and I don't get it. I don't understand why they miss creases, and I don't understand why they can't cut their holders, the inserts, to not damage cards, especially big cards. I mean, and that's the part where I was just trying to point out is, in general, with the price differences being so high between SGC and PSA right now, and if SGC kind of screws something up, it's a detrimental loss in value for some cards, and I just think that's what I was trying to point out. If you love SGC, you love those holders, that's great. I'm not, and I collect SGC, but I'm just saying, like, from an economical situation, it doesn't make sense right now. And I am going to redo the whole study with new cards, and I have a whole pile of SGC cards I've been building up, and you'll see me do that. Now that's going to take months. With when a PSA comes back, I don't know what services are going to offer, and I don't know how quickly they'll get through it, but I will do another 10, 20, 30 card sub where I'm trying to cross over some SGC cards into PSA, and I'll post those results. And I'm very open and honest. I want to give you guys 100%. Like, I did not do two things in that video in terms of the results. I did not pre-screen the SGC cards. Every card was just popped and sent. I didn't really look at them, which is, in retrospect, kind of stupid. I should have probably looked at them, and probably would have caught that some of them had creases. The other one was, I'm not trying to, like, hold cards back that got big pops or whatever. I mean, I'm showing you all the results in good and bad, and so I'm not trying to cherry pick it to make SGC look bad. So I just wanted to clarify that a little bit with you guys, and I appreciate the feedback. I'm trying to argue with anyone on there. I'm just trying to give those results out to everyone and make their own decisions. But I kind of, based on my own history, and there's more. I've done more SGC to PSA crossovers in my experience, and so it kind of lined up exactly with this kind of experiment I did for 2 years. So that's that. Just want to kind of clarify that a little bit. So we'll get back into the opening here. So we'll start here with cards. So my first card here is a 2020 Josh Allen. So this is a Prism parallel. I think it's called Orange Laser. These aren't numbered, but I loved the 2019 version of this card, which they were gold. And I have like the Kyler Murray, the Tom Brady. You know, I collected a lot of the cool cards from this set. Just a really cool parallel. And again, Prism cards can be attractive, you know, when they're done like this. And this isn't, let's say, a super hard. I think these are like in Target packs or something like that. But they're just nice looking. So, you know, for a nice looking parallel, good job. Next up is another example. Now, I kind of ranted in my last video about getting a a plain white envelope card. Here's another plain white envelope card, and this is exactly how the card came to me. I just wanted to show you this piece here where you can see that it's in this soft sleeve that was in a little, it was wrapped in a piece of paper inside the pita, and you can see the card is slid out of both the sleeve and the soft sleeve itself, like the inner sleeve and the outer sleeve. And now the card is just sitting kind of out. And I don't think it's damaged. I haven't looked at it too much. And this is a guy that's kind of a spec play. This is a Sapphire. His first Sapphire. He doesn't actually have a rookie card in Sapphire, but his actual first year, but his first Sapphire card. And I just kind of grabbed it. It wasn't expensive, but that's what I hate about these, you know, plain white envelopes is just, you know, I just hate the fact that the cards just get messed up. And just a small rant. Sorry. Next up is a Joe Burrow. So this is a red, white, and blue parallel out of this year's Prism. And I am kind of specking more on Burrow because I just think his prices are easier to handle. And I think he played just as well as Herbert did before he got injured. And I think he will come back from his injury. And I just feel like he's more value right now. And if he starts out hot, I think you could even see prices kind of be very similar between the two players. You know, if he really comes out of the gate really hot. Next up is a Pirate player. I still Pirate speculation. Sometimes this is Lolo Sanchez. I believe he's a shortstop. And we can look. And let's see. I'm trying to find the positions. He's an outfielder. Sorry, an outfielder. So I thought maybe I used to really pay attention to the prospects, but the Pirates have really burned me out. And I think I did a little rant on the Pirates earlier in another video, and I just don't pay attention to them like I used to. And but when I see some of the prospects sell, you know, I know this guy was a good prospect. I just pick him up. I don't. I mean, the Garrett Cole and Tayon era, you know, I was really into. I got a lot of the cards, and then it just kind of burnt me out by them just trading everyone and kind of being a crappy end to that whole era. Next up is a 74 Joe Torre. This is, again, you know, I've talked about, you know, Torre a little bit as I'm picking up Torre cards as part of my you know, Hall of Fame collection, and I kind of overlooked a few players, and he was one of them. And there you go, 74 Joe Torre, which is a really cool card. I love my 70s. And next up is another 60s card. So hopefully you've seen my 60s video where you know, and I'm trying to you know, be as kind of different as I can. You know, my 60s video, I decided not to talk, and it was nothing to do with, you know, kind of like, I don't think I have a great voice. So I'm, you know, like some guys just have this natural way of having communication. You know, their voice just sounds like something, you know, like should be on the radio or on TV. But no, it wasn't really that. It was really inspired by the silent issue of G.I. Joe. I think it's the first appearance of Snake Eyes, and I just love the fact that they did a whole comic book with no words. And I was just thinking, like, well, let's do a whole 60s video just showcasing the cards, and I'll just play some music in the background, which I don't know if the music annoyed people or not, but you can turn it down. You're not going to miss anything from an audio standpoint. But that was the whole idea, is to do something where I just showed off cards and not talk and kind of bore people about, you know, what I like about this card or that card. And, you know, because in general, all the cards I love. So, you know, that's just sort of the thing, is like, it's kind of like picking your favorite kid sometime. It's really hard to do when you have cards that are awesome that you love. Next up is a 63 Topps Home Run Kings. And so this card is, you know, I slowly putting together some my 63 top set. And the cool thing about this card is it's got, Maris on it, and Killebrew. But these cards are getting more popular. I showcased in the 60s video the card with the I believe it was the batting leaders with Mantle on it. And now those kind of cards have really kind of gone up in value, especially when multi-Hall of Famers. The 66 is, with both Clemente, Mays, and Aaron on it, is an amazing card, and that card's really, really skyrocketed. Next up is this 2002 SP Authentic Tom Brady. This card has kind of lived a lot of different lives. It's gone way up. It's kind of cooled off, and right now it's kind of, I think, on a up trajectory a little bit. I mean, it's a 9, and again, I know a lot of people think modern you can't have 9, but with Brady stuff, I think you can have 9s and have them go up and people still collect it, because sometimes the 10s are so expensive. These 9s are good value and are very collectible. And in my area where I'm at, these cards do really well. So next up is sort of the big card in the whole thing. You can see it's a Mike Trout. Now I had this card many times and never graded. These are always raw. So this is numbered out of 549. It is the Refractor Mike Trout, and 2011 tops. And so this card and this set's always been a quandary for me, because I don't know why. Because they don't have, Trout doesn't have a Chrome Rookie. The closest thing he has to it, in 2011 is this Finest. So there's colored refractors, and then you got the base refractor. And compared to his just regular rookie card, it's just never done anything, and I just don't know why. It kind of like, it makes no sense to me. And I've always kind of just bought this card a lot more often because of it's cheaper. I mean, this card's cheaper than his 2011 base card, grade for grade, and this is numbered, and I just feel like it's just kind of crazy. So maybe this card will get popular again. I really just think it's a beautiful card too. It's a BGS 9, and it's got an 8.5 for centering. I think no, it's got an A for surface, so there must be a scratch maybe. So I mean, you would theoretically say it's never going to 9.5 or 10. You never know. Everything else is a 9.5, so it's got a 9.5 for edges, centering, and corners, and it must have a scratch. So maybe it's something you can wipe off. Maybe not. Probably not. But it's just one of those cards I really love having. And there you go. Now, next up, I got 2 packs of EX 2000. Now, Essential Credentials Futures, Exquisite, Fenway Favorites, Authentic Kicks, and Milestones of the Century. So that's the inserts. And we'll open it and see what we get. Hopefully we get a good base card of someone. Because, I mean, obviously your odds in 2 packs of getting something amazing is low, but you never know. All right, well, we start off with a Jeter base card, so that's awesome. So I mean, that makes me just super happy right off the bat, that we get a Jeter right off the bat. So that's really cool. Probably should be wearing gloves for cards like this, but hey. Next up is Bruce Chen, and then there's a Robbie Alomar. So wow, and these cards are so cool. And I've never opened these packs. I was in college during this time period, and I never got to open these packs because it was just kind of that time period when I wasn't collecting. And so really cool. I've been looking to buy a box. So so here's something really bad. This pack has, so this has got a Garcia Parra. Ivan Rodriguez. And Vinny Castilla. So no essential credentials. So that last pack, I'm a little suspect on it. You can see where it looked like a razor blade had cut that pack open a little bit right there. You can see the cut. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, I opened it anyway because these weren't that expensive comparatively. Eggs get cut. But the first pack had a Jeter. So, I mean, if they're going to cut them open and get cards, you're probably not going to leave a Jeter in there because this Jeter graded is still worth some good money. So wow, that's awesome. That's one of the cards I was looking for. Obviously, the other one for me is Griffey. So very cool. It was very nice. So I'm very happy with that. Get a Jeter out of 2 packs of EX, and Those are really cool. Now, finally, I got comics. So first comic book up is a comic book I've always loved, just because I think it's just a funny cover. They would never like fat shame anyone today, like this cover pretty much does with Wonder Woman. It's a Funhouse Mirror cover, and I don't think it says the last 10-cent issue in a full page ad for Showcase 34. I don't think a lot of crazy stuff happens in this comic book to make it worth a lot of money. It's just one of those covers that people either love or hate. It's such a Silver Age book. It's like, to me, it's like the Silver Age, like just goofiness that, just it's funny because I think this is what I think Silver Age is kind of represents, is goofy stuff like this. And so I love that cover. And next up is a book I need for my Spider-Man collection. Now, the cool thing about this book, and I'll say, is it's a single digit Spider-Man book. So it's a Spider-Man number 7. And all these single digit Spider-Man books are just really important to me because I don't have that many. I think this is my 3rd single digit Spider-Man book. I think I have 4 and 9. Whatever the first Sandman, I think it's 4. I have that book, and then I have 9, and now I have 7. So, my goals every year is to get the first 10 issues of Spider-Man, and so I have one, number 7. It's a 4.5. Kind of the condition I'm looking to get him in. Obviously, 1 is going to be incredibly difficult to get eventually. I'm going to have to dedicate, like, basically a year, because every year I pick out 2 or 3 big cards and comics to get. Like last year, I got Giant Size X-Men number 1 back. I'll have to do something like that. I'll have to say, okay, I'm going to get this, Spider-Man 1, and that's like all I'm going to get for like 3 months is this one book, or 4 months, or maybe half a year. That book has gone up so much. But yeah, so this is definitely one of the coolest books I've gotten in a while, just for me, because I know it's nothing awesome happens in this story or this book. It's the second appearance of Vulture. Vulture is kind of a weaker of the Sinister Six characters. But it's a single digit Spider-Man book, and I think eventually these will all become just super, super rare. It's like I would just tell everyone, like, you should be out buying all single digit main Marvel characters, or Marvel books, sorry. So like Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, X-Men, first 10 issues, because there's something magical about a single digit book, right? And I know there's tons of keys afterwards, but it's just like they just have a different feel and look from that era. And I just feel like everyone's just going to hoard them eventually, and they're going to be really hard to get. Just my opinion. Now, obviously, the big thing for this day was this Mike Trout. If you looked at my videos recently, I've been not getting a ton of Trouts, and if you looked at my Trout collection video, I was saying like my goal is to get like 1 Trout auto a month. Was my original Trout collecting goal, like, and a rookie and a auto a month. Then I went to an auto a month, and now I'm just kind of like, well, when I get them, and that's partly because I got so many of them now, so many autos, that I've been kind of like, it's not as big a deal anymore for me because I've had so many. And then the rookies, I just been looking for the ones I don't have. So as you get more, you just don't have as many options. So, but that's it. So I want to give you a video, a little update. Hope you liked it. I am working on the 1960s video part 2. Which hopefully you guys like part 1. And that'll be probably the next one I post. All right, guys. See you next time.